Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated show on MTV that loves a good closet chat. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge Season 41 Vets and New Threats Episode 3. We have so much drama to talk about and half the competitions, but we'll get into all of those juicy details and why we have no elimination all in due time. Let's first start off where last episode left off, which was Tay winning against Blue in the elimination, rejoining the cast, and we start off this week with the selection process. Lekka is up first and she chooses Leroy. Turbo then chooses Izzy. Olivia chooses Justin. Will picks Nani, America chooses Bananas, CT chooses D, Aneesa then picks Jeremy, Ashley and Jake, Cedric and Michaela, Leo and Aviv. Nia has no real choice because she has already been partnered up with Ben. She has to go with Gabe. Ben chooses Cara Maria, Sydney and Derek C. Theo has the choice between Adrian and Tay. He chooses Adrian, and Taylor and Derek are paired together, Derek K. Now with all the new pairs situated, we rejoin everybody back at the challenge house the following day where Nia is talking to CT about her knee. She feels like it's getting progressively worse. Something is definitely off and CT pushes for her to go to the hospital, let production take you, get an MRI, and just get it checked out. This is where, when Nia's away, Gabe has a lot to say. Gabe tells some of the rookie men that he has gotten close with that he is frustrated. It sounds like Gabe is more annoyed with people choosing him last. He feels like he is a good competitor, that he has come to play, yet somehow he's being overlooked. I will say that I feel like Gabe being chosen last is less about his abilities as a player and more so a testament of how badly his social game is. As Gabe is venting and letting all of his emotions out, and this is where he kind of just lets it out that he doesn't want to be partnered up with Nia. She is injured. Could this injury sink him in the daily challenge, or even worse, make him the hangnail? This is where some time has passed where Nia had gotten checked out and is back in the challenge house where she overhears Jeremy tell CT and Derek K about what Gabe had mentioned. But this game of telephone leads Nia to be very hurt, and she goes and confronts Gabe and reads him out, saying that, I've played this game. What have you done? What are you basing your whole perception of me? It is not a great look for Gabe and Nia heading into the daily challenge. Everybody dons their challenge gear, heads down to meet up with TJ at this quarry for this week's daily challenge on the water called Water Tower, where in every round there will be two teams playing. One person on the pair will swim directly to a platform where there is a puzzle. The other person will swim to this rock climbing tower in the middle of the water. We'll have to climb all the way up, grab a flag, jump into the tower, swim underneath it, swim to the platform where their one partner is trying to solve this puzzle. The team with the fastest time will win into safety and win into power, and the last place team will go directly into the elimination. Now I say that, but realistically, it was already decided who was going to get last place because TJ turns to Nia and Gabe and says that Nia has hurt her knee. The MRI results have not come in yet, but to be on the safe side, Nia and Gabe are disqualified and cannot compete in this daily challenge until they know more. TJ at the beginning of this daily challenge did not tell them that because they could not compete, that they would be going directly into the elimination and getting last place by default. He waited until after the daily challenge to give that information. The first pairs up in the edit are the two Dereks and their partners, Sydney and Tay. Sydney was getting a lot of compliments during her heat as she was swimming like a fish. She got up this rock wall so quickly, jumped in without hesitating, got to the platform. Derek finishes that puzzle and they have a great time. But looking at the other pair, Derek, who had to climb, jumped in, and this is where we saw in all the promos where Derek is yelling for help. A lot of people are worried about Derek, thinking that he injured his knee. Luckily though, Derek was able to compose himself, get a deep breath, get underneath this tower, get to the platform with Tay, who crushed this puzzle. She had the puzzle done before Derek was even thinking about jumping into the tower. I was worried for Derek, but he did a really great job finishing this out. The second pair up is America Bananas, Izzy and Turbo. America only learned how to swim 2 months prior to coming onto this challenge. This is a pretty decent sized swim, and she was going very, very slow. Luckily, she got to the platform and started on the puzzle before Bananas had finished climbing the tower, grabbing the flag, jumping in, and swam over to the platform. He helped America finish out the puzzle, and they did a great job. On the other hand, you have Turbo and Izzy, where Izzy got so close up to the top, but she fell. And TJ did mention that if you fall off the climbing wall at any point, your team is disqualified. So Izzy and Turbo are the first team in the edit to be disqualified. Heat number 3, we have Olivia and Justin, Cara and Ben. Olivia went over to do the puzzle. Justin absolutely crushes the climb, the swim, getting to the platform, and Olivia does a great job on the puzzle. I will say that out of everybody to choose for a specific daily challenge or to be partnered up, I felt like Cara Maria and Leroy were probably the worst 2 picks of the people that you could have chosen, but Cara Maria had this puzzle locked up. Ben, unfortunately, kind of like Izzy, got so close to the top and fell off the tower, and they disqualified. Ashley and Jake make a great team, with Ashley in the puzzle, Jake being absolutely fearless. They complete this challenge. Nani and Will, same thing. Nani did the puzzle, crushed it. Will did the climb, great job. This was not a good edit for Theo, because you have Olivia being like, I've heard stories of Theo. He seems like he's gotten soft. And in the next moment, Theo is falling off of the tower. Nearly identical to the run that Lekka and Leroy have, where Leroy gets halfway up, looks behind him, and goes, yeah, I can jump off from here, because he's like, I'm not doing this challenge. So I almost feel like Leroy, 1, did not want to do it anyways, but 2, strategically threw it because I know this other team is getting last place. CT doing the puzzle, D climbing the wall, and once she jumped in, she got too overwhelmed. It felt claustrophobic. She was yelling for help and needed help from the production and the safety team. So D and CT were disqualified. Identically, that's how Leo and Aviv got disqualified. The last teams that we see in Heat 7, we have Aneesa and Jeremy, where Jeremy looks so impressive. He gets up that wall, swims over to the platform. It's no problem for him. The barrier comes with Aneesa and this puzzle. She is kind of getting frantic, a little panicky. I feel like this was in Jeremy and Aneesa's hands to get this win, but she kind of just froze on there, and Jeremy was trying to help. It just felt like their chemistry with each other and their teamwork wasn't working very well. Cedric is so impressive that he gets to the climbing wall. He climbs up, grabs the flag, jumps in one motion, jumps into the tower, gets into the water, pops over to the other side, and he makes it to the platform before it looks like Michaela makes it to the platform. Cedric looks absolutely stacked, and they finished their puzzle before Aneesa and Jeremy, and it seemed like Aneesa and Jeremy had a head start on their puzzle. Now, getting to the results, TJ then mentions that Nia and Gabe are going directly into the elimination because they are last place. It is a women's day, so Nia will have to compete in the elimination. TJ then reveals that the top 8 is just everybody who finished, but he doesn't go into details or show any times of where everyone placed. I was a little disappointed until we get to the end of the episode with the selection process, and kind of going with how everybody picked their new partners, you can get the idea of where everybody finished. So, doing a little bit of a workaround, this is what I came up with. In 8th place, Ashley and Jake. 7th place, Derek and Tay. 6th place, Bananas and America. 5th place, Nani and Will. 4th place, Aneesa and Jeremy. 3rd place, Derek and Sydney. 2nd place, Cedric and Michaela. And 1st place, getting 8 points, is Justin and Olivia. I have to say, congratulations to Olivia and Justin getting 1st place. Justin, in 3 episodes, in the first 3 episodes, gets an elimination win and now a daily challenge win. And looking at his points, he is the highest point scorer on the men's side. At this point, Olivia now has the most points out of everybody. And speaking of Olivia, we get back to the challenge house. Everybody dresses up and goes to the bar, and we see Olivia, Justin, and Nia kind of hanging out with each other. And in these moments at the bar, I feel like this is where we see Olivia come in with intent and the mentality she wanted to play this season of the challenge. And you can just see the manipulation she does with Justin at the bar. Because Justin's like naming off people that he's not very close with, and it's everybody Olivia's working with. And Olivia has to pivot quickly to be like, okay, you can look at those people who voted you in and everything and be like, oh, I want to get revenge. Or, you know what works even better is saving them and wanting to work with them. And Justin's like, you know what? That kind of makes sense. So they call Izzy over, and Olivia kind of brokers the deal that we're gonna save you, and if we save you, will you consider looking out for Justin? And Izzy says, yes, 100% I will look out for Justin. And it's in this moment that I kind of got chills with how Olivia is playing this game, how her social game is on point. She just won the daily challenge. She's coming in first or second in the daily challenge. Now, it is still very early, but I just was very impressed. Two people that are getting skeptical of everybody's intentions is Bananas, who is sitting alone watching Olivia talk to a whole bunch of people, and he's thinking that she is plotting something against me. You have America, who is also at the bar, and she is not feeling great about her position in the game. She has talked to Justin, but not very recently. She hasn't talked to Olivia at all. Nobody is saying anything about a name being thrown out there, and if you're not being talked to, you're being talked about. Something else that is very interesting, and I feel like really kicks these rookies into shape, is Michaela in this conversation. And she is thinking that the rookies are playing too nice at this point. They're not thinking with their brains. They're just wanting to have a good time. And I need everybody to be at their best. So Michaela is like, look, are you here to make friends? Are you here to make money? And if you want to win that life-changing money, you're going to have to start playing the game and using your brains and strategizing. And it feels like it clicks in that moment for everybody at the table, especially Leo, which we will see at the voting ceremony very, very soon. But it just feels like it clicks into place. And I just love Michaela being here because we gotta play. We gotta play this game. And I love the domino effect it has later on in this episode. And even Leo then mentions that it's not Friendship Island, which is, this is the perfect time to establish that when there's no Vacation Alliance, because it's always been Friendship Island. Coming back to the challenge house the next day, Olivia is telling Derek C, CT, Theo, a couple other people about her plan on voting America in to then get Bananas to be the hangnail. And CT is fairly impressed with what Olivia has concocted. Somebody who is not impressed is Sydney, who is not a fan of UK. She is a fan of America and thinking that in Bananas we trust. So she takes this information, runs directly to Aviv, Ashley, Dee, and Nani in the room, and you have this chat on how they can save Bananas at the vote. I'm telling you, I love when seasons are two giant alliances going head to head with one another because it just ups the tension in the game. And to me, this has been a great season for the rookies, but also just the drama. Right before the vote, we do have Gabe talking to Nia and apologizing for what he said. He wants to take full accountability and wants to know the best way to support her as she's going into the elimination. Nia appreciates it, accepts the apology, and also apologizes to Gabe for the way she reacted. But now we get to the vote, and to me, this is the best part of the episode because Justin and Olivia wants to save Izzy, and Justin has this nice speech, and everybody feels nice. Even TJ says, oh, it's really nice of you. And then he looks at everybody and goes, all right, well, who wants to say something? And Michaela stands up and has quite a bit to say. First of all, in the confessional, she thinks that it is a bad decision for Olivia to want to save a rookie in the game because the vets all pretty much look out for each other. But with this move of saving Izzy, who was not even on the chopping block or even a consideration, this kind of shows that Olivia is tipping her hands, that she is fully on some of the rookie side and this UK alliance. And if she wanted to save face with the veterans, that she should have just picked a veteran woman to save. What she says in the actual voting ceremony is that Izzy wasn't in any danger, that this isn't really a peace offering. You just wasted your save, and this means nothing unless you were actually trying to save somebody who was in danger, which makes a lot of sense. But also in saying that, it makes me confused because if Olivia and Justin would have went on to use the save on a veteran woman, yes, it would have saved face on the veteran side with Olivia, but it also would make that save null and void because it would just be a gesture, which I guess this was a gesture as well with Izzy. I don't know. Olivia had something to say about Michaela and saying that, oh, Izzy chose Theo to be partnered up with, which that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And yeah, like I said, like I understand where Michaela is coming from, and I definitely agree with her that Olivia probably should have pushed for a veteran woman to be saved just because, and because Izzy wasn't going to be in any trouble. But at the same time, like Michaela said, a save is just worthless and doesn't mean anything unless somebody was actually in danger and you saved them. So even if Olivia went on to save a veteran woman, there was no veteran women who were going to be in trouble. So it would have been a waste either way. I will say that I was kind of annoyed that everybody kept on denying that them voting for America was also a slight against Bananas. Now granted, you can make the plausible deniability that them voting America wasn't 100% all about Johnny Bananas, because I do think that they were voting America because they felt like Nia could win against America, as well as it's somebody outside of their alliance and they're not close with. So I can totally see why they would vote America in to help out Nia, and they're not close with her. But there is still some percentage of why they're voting for America is because they want to make Johnny Bananas a hangnail. So them denying that it has nothing to do with Johnny Bananas is preposterous. Why not just go with it? You know, Leroy stood up and said people want to do this because they want Bananas to be the hangnail, and I enjoyed that Leroy stood up and said it. But there was a lot of people being like, it has nothing to do with Bananas. It kind of does. It kind of does, everybody. Also, Cara Maria and Aneesa get into it because Aneesa said that Nia mentioned that she would rather go against Tay than America, which isn't 100% necessarily the truth. And this is where we're getting the little seedlings of Aneesa being a flip-flopper and Ashley calling her a fake. And I just feel like one more vote, two more votes, we're going to see this big old argument between Ashley and Nany versus Aneesa because she is just going back and forth with all the conversation. The one person that I'm very happy stood their grounds and said something, maybe not the most eloquent, but they did say it, was Leo. Leo gets up and says, hey, rookies, can we all take a second and see what's going on here and reflect on the last couple of votes? That every time we come in here, it's always between two rookies. We need to stop that. We need to nip this in the bud. We need to dissuade the vets from pushing out rookie names and us just going along with it. What Leo said was fantastic, and I loved every second of it. And again, I think this goes to what the conversation was with Michaela and the rookie men in that booth, and I just was like, yes. The vote comes out 9-4 for America to be sent in against Nia. Now, after the voting ceremony, we go to the room where Bananas looks frustrated. This is where he's saying that Olivia's only played 3 seasons and she plays so emotional. Why is everybody listening to her when she's so emotional in every single part of the game, you know? And Olivia comes in, calm, cool, and collected, holding a Diet Coke and being like, hey, how's everybody doing? And her and Johnny get into a tussle of words where Bananas looks so over it. I'm sure he wasn't thinking this was going to be some easy vacation, go with the flow, I'm going to easily make it to the final. But at the same time, I'm sure he wasn't thinking that this was going to be all piling up on him this soon. I feel like this is getting to Bananas more than he's willing to admit at this point. But this is where America and Nia don their challenge gear, head down to the arena to meet up with TJ in the sand. This is where I started looking at my watch and being like, we're almost done here, and we're just getting to the elimination. Either it's going to be a cliffhanger, or we're going to get some bad news about Nia's knee. And it was the latter. TJ says that the MRI results came in. Nia is unable to compete and play in the elimination or the rest of the season, so she is disqualified, medically disqualified, and she is eliminated from the game. There was no elimination played, but he does turn to America and claims that she is the winner. She still gets +2 performance points, and she gets to go back and rejoin the house. Gabe, of course, is the hangnail. I don't know about you, but it's not looking good, as Gabe will not be able to compete to try to win safety. It sounds like his social game has been in the toilet ever since he said all those things about Nia and their big argument. I think it's going to be a huge uphill battle for him to try to swing the votes and send somebody else, the other person that is nominated next to him, into the elimination. Now, I was half expecting for the credits to just roll, but this is where TJ says that we're gonna get to the selection process now before the episode ends. Justin chooses Aviv, Olivia chooses Jeremy, Cedric chooses Cara, Michaela chooses Ben, Derek C chooses Izzy, Sydney picks Turbo, Aneesa picks Will, Nani picks Jake, Bananas picks Lekka, America has Theo, Derek and Dee are paired up with each other, Tay picks Leroy, Ashley picks Leo, and CT and Adrian are the last 2 picks, and they are just paired up with one another. Now, this next week's daily challenge looks very interesting, as it looks like it is the cargo container maze challenge with Sudoku, so possibly it's anybody's game. But that is it for this week's episode. It is frustrating that we do not have both a daily challenge and an elimination in this week's episode, but it's totally understandable because of Nia's injury. And honestly, the drama in this episode was flowing. Even without an elimination, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought the daily challenge was interesting. It was very difficult. I couldn't believe how many teams disqualified in so many different ways. I thought it was a good daily challenge. I thought the house drama was impeccable. I loved it. I feel like we're seeing the turning of the tides in this house, and the rookies are going to start coming out and playing, and then you still have the Olivia versus Bananas thing that is just intensifying to so high of a degree. I'm just so thrilled that this season is incredible, and I cannot wait for next week. But now I want to turn it over to you. What do you think about this episode, and what do you think about this season so far? Let me know down in the comments section below. What did you think about the daily challenge, Water Tower? What did you think about all the house drama, the Nia and Gabe situation, Nia being disqualified? And are you sad that we did not get an elimination? Let me know anything and everything down in the comment section below. I want to hear what you have to say. I now want to give a special shout out thank you to everyone who supports me over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who's watching this video up to this point. I'll be back really soon with more Challenge 41 content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.